we're going to break down Ripple's Swell event. It's just a couple of days away. We're going to go through all the speakers. It's going to be a two-part video you're not going to want to miss out. We're going to talk about everything that is going on. We're going to go into the speakers, dive into what announcement could be coming. Did a lot of research on this. I have a feeling we're going to be pretty damn accurate because let's be honest here. Something is happening behind the scenes right now. Most people, we have no idea what it is, what's going on. But if you've been paying attention to Ripple's Swell 2025 lineup, it's not just another crypto event. This looks like the financial elite are gathering to flip the switch on a new system. I mean, we got the White House, Wall Street, NASDAQ, and the world's largest banks all in one room. If you think that's a coincidence, there's no shot. This is all orchestrated. In the middle of it all, it's one digital asset, I should say, and it goes by the name XRP. Stay tuned. Throughout these next 10 to 15 minutes, we're breaking down the speakers, what they might actually be announcing, and how all the dots connect into something way bigger than just crypto. And by the end of this video, you're going to see why XRP isn't just another digital asset. It is the key to a financial reset that is already underway. Folks, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that thumbs up button. Look, it's the ultimate way to support the channel and it's free. The more thumbs up we get, the more that this gets spread out across YouTube as the algorithm picks up on it. And don't forget, if you haven't booked that one-on-one call, now's the time to do it. Limited spots already booked out through the first week of November. If you're looking to get an LLC set up, how to structure it, what it should look like, tax advantages. If you're looking for your Wyoming LLC, which some of you spoke to me, that's what you want, no problem. I will guide you on how to do it. And no, it doesn't cost thousands of dollars like other people are charging. It'll cost you probably a couple of $100 and you don't have to do anything. That is what these calls are made for, folks. I got you covered. Trust me, I've been here 8 years. I know all the ins and outs. I know what I'm doing. I know how to work it. You're going to want to get that call booked and make sure you sign up for our free newsletter. We are on episode number 3, or some might say newsletter number 3. Now let's jump on Ripple's website and let's jump into this thing. We're going to start it out by, let's talk about prior swells, right? Let's talk about what happened, Swell 2024, 2023, 2022, and so on. Let's rewind a little bit. So Swell has always been Ripple's launchpad for game-changing announcements. Remember when they revealed the first major bank corridors? Or when they brought in a central bank and their officials to quietly test cross-border settlements? Every year, Ripple pushes a little bit closer to global adoption. But 2025, and I've been here 8 years, I've been through 8 Swell events. This year, it just feels different, right? I mean, look at the guest list. Government officials, trillion-dollar banks, asset managers, all under one roof. It's like Davos, but specifically for the blockchain future. This is where the old world of money managers and your money mergers with the new one, right? The first speaker that's going to be at Swell or on Ripple's website, he's coming directly from the White House. This makes everything crystal clear. Because when the White House shows up at a crypto event, you know the script is about to change. And we're talking about this man right here, Patrick Witt, the US government's top counsel on digital assets, the direct line into President Trump. He's going to be at Swell. And this isn't just a courtesy visit. He's not coming for drinks and appetizers, folks. This smells like preparation for a coordinated digital currency rollout. Picture this, a US framework for tokenized settlements, but built on tech that already works, the XRP ledger. Now, they can't launch a central bank digital currency overnight, so what are they doing? They are using existing rails. Ripple becomes the plumbing, XRP the settlement medium. That is how you flip the system without breaking it. Expect Wick to talk about public-private coordination, efficient settlement, and interoperability. Translation? Simple. The US may quietly greenlight Ripple as the compliant backbone of a new digital financial architecture. And then guess who comes next? The one company that literally controls the pulse of the stock market. We're talking Aiden Friedman. She's the CEO of NASDAQ. Now, she doesn't attend tech conferences for hype. She attends them when markets are about to change. Now, imagine her unveiling NASDAQ Digital Markets 2.0, a new platform built for tokenized assets, and guess who handles the settlement for them? XRP does. NASDAQ could become the first exchange to host tokenized securities that trade, settle, and clear on blockchain rails. She might phrase it as leveraging public-private partnerships, sounds familiar, right? For real-time market settlement. But behind the scenes, it's actually the bridge between Wall Street and RippleNet. If NASDAQ plugs into Ripple's tech, the stock exchange and crypto exchange world, they just merged. And guess what? Who holds those assets once they move on chain? Well, the next giant on the list, the oldest bank in America, now playing with the newest tech in the world. Yes, we are talking about Caroline Weinberg, Chief Product and Innovation Officer for BNY Mellon. Now, BNY Mellon, but let's not forget, they have 46 trillion in custody. They're the ones that literally safeguard most of the world's financial assets. Many of you probably didn't know that. If Weinberg announces XRP custody or XRP ledger tokenization for institutional clients, guess what? It's game over. BNY, they don't experiment, folks. It institutionalizes. I want you to think of BNY Digital Vault product where treasuries, funds, and assets are tokenized on the XRP ledger using XRP for instant settlement. That is trillions moving through Ripple's rails without people ever even noticing. If that drops at Swell, well, I think it's easy to say that it's quite the start of a new Swift. Now, talking about Swift and the old guard, right? While the old guard builds the vault, the exchanges prepare for the bridge. Who do we cue? We cue Kraken. David Ripley, co-CEO of Kraken. Kraken's new leadership is all about regulation and ready infrastructure. What if Ripple unveils a Ripple-powered institutional desk, XRP liquidity from banks, fintechs, and even governments? Picture a network where banks use Kraken for on-demand XRP settlement. That turns a crypto exchange into a global clearinghouse. Kraken could even integrate the XRP ledger into its backend for instant asset swaps. Zero friction, zero wait time. The exchanges, they're being primed for the liquidity surge once institutions flood in. And speaking of institutions here, you want to know who's next on the list? Because this is a big one. Franklin Templeton. They're next, and they only manage over $1 trillion. Nothing big at all, right? Sandy Call, she is head of innovation for Franklin Templeton. Now, Franklin Templeton here, they've been quietly tokenizing funds since 2021, over 4 years. Many of you probably don't know that. At Swell 2025, I'm expecting Sandy Call to announce a full migration of their money markets funds onto the XRP ledger. Probably asking yourself, but why XRP? Well, it's simple. Because it is regulatory friendly and it is built for settlement. Imagine tokenized mutual funds where your redemption settled instantly in XRP instead of waiting 2 days. And here's the conspiracy angle on this. Check this one out. This sets the blueprint for the tokenized treasury market, the holy grail of finance. Franklin Templeton move could literally force the SEC to officially recognize the XRP ledger as critical financial infrastructure. And once that happens, every major fund is going to follow. And one of those followers, well, it might just be Citi. The global payments behemoth, Ryan Rugg, who is global head of digital assets. She's going to be there. Now, some of you may not know this. Here's a little fun fact. Citi, they handle money movement across 90 countries. If Rugg steps up and says Citi is piloting XRP-based corridors for cross-border settlements, that's it. It's game over. We're talking multi-billion-dollar flows settling in seconds, not days. But here's the catch, because they won't say XRP directly, right? They're going to word it something. They're going to call it liquidity optimization through digital asset rails. Watch the language behind which Ryan is going to use. Tokenized settlement, on-demand liquidity, that is Ripple's code. Citi plus Ripple, it means the same banks that once dismissed crypto, they now are going to rely on it for survival. And if the banks are in, You want to know who has to come next? The asset managers. And one of the biggest asset managers in the space, if not the biggest, well, they just entered the chat. We're talking Maxwell Stein, Director of Digital Assets for BlackRock. Now, BlackRock, 10 trillion in assets. Larry Fink already stated that tokenization is the future. So what if BlackRock comes out and announces the first tokenized ETF using the XRP ledger for settlement? Think about that. Fund shares, real world assets, all moving through XRP rails. BlackRock doesn't just test, folks. It defines the standard. And once BlackRock makes their move, the rest of these institutions, they will follow. And if their digital asset division goes all in with Ripple Tech, it cements XRP as that institutional bridge currency. The conspiracy theory behind this, we want to do a little tinfoil hat? I'm with it. Ripple and BlackRock, they have been quietly coordinating since 2002, preparing the rails behind closed doors while the SEC case, it was still happening. And right after BlackRock comes another $1 trillion titan, Fidelity, and they might confirm everything. Cynthia Lowe Bessette, she's head of digital asset management, Fidelity Investments. And remember, we just saw Fidelity launch Solana on that platform. They also are coming out with their spot ETFs. I just recently made a prediction a couple of days ago that I firmly do believe that Fidelity will be listing XRP and ETFs will soon follow. I believe this announcement is coming at Swell. Now, Fidelity, this is the final puzzle piece. They've already rolled out Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana custody, but XRP is always missing until now. Fidelity announces that XRP is officially part of their institutional digital asset custody platform. That opens the floodgates for pension funds, insurance giants, and wealth managers. Combine that with BlackRock and BNY Mellon, and suddenly, the same institutions that once fought crypto, they are now building the future on it. It's the perfect full circle moment. Fidelity represents the retirement of the old financial system, literally, the money of the old world, money moving into the new rails. And if that happens, XRP becomes not a speculative asset, but the invisible engine powering global liquidity. So we got the governments, NASDAQ, the biggest banks, and the world's top asset managers all converging around one thing. But that is only half of the story, because in part 2, we're diving into what comes next when JP Morgan, BlackRock's competitors, and even global regulators are stepping in. If you think that this was big, what I just talked about and predicted to come true, the next phase is going to expose how Ripple is quietly positioning XRP as the world's settlement standard. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications and get ready